Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 19 of Sharing My Life. And today I want to share with you all an easy way that I have discovered for myself to have an awesome life. The simplest things in life often have eluded me, and this is one of them. So, are you ready? This is a really simple one, and you've probably heard it before, and it might sound cliche. But the easiest way that I have discovered to have an awesome life is to actually practice and cultivate a regular, daily, diligent practice of gratitude. It's as simple as that sounds, and as cliche as that sounds. I'm going to share with you all what I've learned around this practice of gratitude that has actually, in the last few months, taken my experience of my own life to another level. So, I've always been a grateful sort of person, like right through, even when I was a young girl, grateful for what I had in my life rather than what I didn't have in my life. And what I've seen as I was preparing for this just today, I've seen that in the past, I've been grateful for stuff in my life when the chips were down. So, for example, when my husband and I used to fight a lot when we were married, and we didn't talk for a day or 2 days or whatever, sometimes it would go for longer. I used to often think, it's such a waste of time not talking. And I would start to write down or think in my head, never wrote down at that time, what it is that I was grateful for about him. And that would help me go back and resolve a fight or an argument. Then when my marriage broke down, I created a little gratitude ritual with my children because I was experiencing all the stuff that comes with divorce. So at the dining table, we would sit together, and before dinner, we would share one thing that we were grateful for. So again, I was practicing gratitude when my life was not going so good. And in the last 7 or 8 years, same thing. When I was feeling a bit down, I would start to think about, what are the good things I have? You're kind of taught, well, I've read in so many self-help books, think of what you have rather than what you don't have. So that's what I used to do when I was not feeling so good. And then about 6 months ago, I was in this intensive leadership training program, and there were about 25 of us participants. And one of the participants, we had this WhatsApp group. And one of the participants, his name was Louis, and I'm going to tag him on this later, but he shared a little thing that he said that if you practice something for 21 days in a row, it can become a habit. And I've heard that before. And he wanted to practice creating a habit of being grateful. So he shared 3 things on the WhatsApp group that he was grateful for. And because there were 25 of us, quite a few of us jumped on and wanted to do the same thing. And I was one of them. I said, I'm going to create a habit of being grateful on a day-to-day basis. So I started to share 3 things that I was grateful for. And here's the thing, right? In the past, when I had done this, I'd done this with another girlfriend once, just 2 of us. On our phone, we would share a couple of things we were grateful for. But what happened was, when we were doing this in a group of 25 people, if I forgot one day, there were at least 3 or 4 other people that would remember. So there was no chance that I could forget, because there were 25 other people supporting me in this habit that I was trying to create of being grateful. So that was the first thing I learned, that if I wanted to create a habit of being grateful, I want to do it in community. I want to do it with at least a minimum of 10 people, so that if I forget or 5 people forget, there's another 5 people that could possibly remember. And so as a result of that, it became a habit for me. After 21 days, I created the habit of being grateful for at least 3 things in my life. And then the leadership program ended, and the WhatsApp group, slowly the interaction died off. But because it had become a habit for me, I got this big green book, and I used to write in it every day. And I found that I could write more than 3 things. I was like filling up a full A4 sheet of stuff that I was grateful for. Pretty awesome. And I was thinking, oh my God, this is pretty awesome. So then I went and got myself this book. This is such a little awesome book. It's a very girly looking book, and it's got a thing like that, and you can attach your pen there. And I started to see, if you see, it's pretty filled up. So I started to write a whole page every day, and I was starting to feel really awesome. And then this is getting, but wait, there's more. I stumbled upon the audiobook by Dr. Demartini called The Gratitude Effect. And what he talks about in that book, there's some amazing stuff like that I learned about gratitude from him in the last 2 months. And he talks about not only being grateful for the stuff that you have in your life that you love, but to also be grateful for the stuff that you have in your life that you don't love. Like, for example, if somebody's pressing my buttons, or I don't like a particular situation in my life, to actually see what there is in that situation or in that person that I actually can be grateful for. Or there could be an opportunity for my own growth with that, because of the way a certain person is behaving towards me, or an opportunity, or the situation is. And so I found that if I was upset with somebody, I would write like a whole page, a full page about that person that I could be grateful for, what it is that I could be grateful for about that person. And I was quite amazed with what that did for me. It actually changed, it actually flipped my whole way of being towards that person, just because I could actually list all the things that that person had provided for me, or the opportunity she or he was providing for me in my life. So that's the second thing I learned, that to be grateful not only for when the chips are down and what I loved about my life, but also be grateful for what I didn't love about my life. And now for the third one, which really has taken my life and has been a real catalyst for me in the last 2 months. Dr. Demartini talks about being grateful for what I want in my life, but don't yet have. And that's we don't normally do, right? We only talk about what we have in our life that we love. And sometimes some of us are grateful for what we don't like in our life, but this one totally took it to another level for me. So for example, something that I want in my life that I didn't yet have 2 months ago, notice I'm saying didn't yet have because I'm on the journey to having it now, was I want perfect health. Now, I want perfect health because I want to have I want to live to like 120. No, I'm joking. Well, I hope so. But I want to have an awesome life. I want to be active. I want to do stuff with my life. I want to, travel. I want to really create awesome things in my life. And I've realized that without my health, I can't do that. So in the last 2 years, I've had a lot of pain in my hip. I have put on a bit of weight. And so I started writing a whole page. I am grateful for my perfect health, even though I haven't yet got it. And I started to write all the things that I'm grateful for if I had perfect health. So if I had perfect health, I would be wide awake at 5:30 in the morning, bouncing with energy, alive, going for a jog. I can wear clothes that I've never worn before. I can run up Mount Warning. And I was starting to write, I'm grateful for all these things, even though they're not yet present in my life. And something absurd really happened when I started to do that, is that I started to, as I was writing it, I was starting to suddenly sit differently. I would walk differently through my day, and I started to actually do things that were different. So I started in the last month, even when I went to America, to San Francisco, I've started walking between 8 and 10 kilometers every day. And I've got a Fitbit on as well. So I walk 8 to 10 kilometers every day. I've started to watch what I eat. I've lost about 2.5 kilos in the last 2 weeks. And I'm feeling better. So basically, that's what it is, being grateful for what I want in my life, but I don't yet have. And what happens is the universe or whatever, something matches the vibration of how you feel because you've started to write that. You actually feel different. What's his name? Greg Braden talks about this in a different way. He says prayer is a feeling. If you can feel something that you want, create the feeling and actually experience the feeling of something that you don't have but you want, then the universe will match that vibration for you and actually have it become present in your life. And so those are the things that I've learned about gratitude and how I can actually have an awesome life. And my whole life has shifted in the last 2 months. And it's not just perfect health, but other things that I would love in my life that I don't have and would seem like, far out there. I've started to actually write down that I'm grateful for them, even though I don't have them. And that's my share for today. So I would love to hear from you and let me know what you think of gratitude and what your experiences are of gratitude in your life, because I think that's such a simple, easy way to have an awesome life. Thank you for listening. And let's see. Hey, Zilla and Maurice. Hello, Maurice. And Susan. Hey, Paul. Paul, you are awesome. Paul is my self-expression and leadership program leader at Landmark, and he's actually the one that's actually given me my life. I did a community project as part of this program at Landmark, and I couldn't have had a better program leader than Paul Songhurst, because of him, I have discovered that I'm passionate about community, and I want to give my rest of my life to doing community work. So thank you for being here, Paul, if you're still here. Deb is also, I love you, Deborah. And yeah, thank you all for being over here. And I will see you next week. In fact, Paul, I will see you tonight. See you later. Bye.